I'm Chris Levatino. I'm the athletic director here at Evanston Township High School, and it's my pleasure to welcome back all of our ETHS alumni, families, and friends from across the country here to be with us today to celebrate this great occasion. Before we get started, I'd like to introduce our new Assistant Superintendent and Principal, Dr. Taya Kinsey, who most of you met last night on the field. She did an incredible job for us as the AP Student Services Coordinator, guiding us through all of the COVID pandemic era. And we are incredibly lucky to now have her leading us in the Wildcat way as our new principal. Please welcome Dr. Taya Kinsey.
Thank you, Chris. And yes, I just had to lower the microphone like a foot, just like when I hugged some of you all. So it is really a pleasure to be able to be here and to say congratulations to each of you who have earned this honor, because what we know is the Wildcat Way has lived forever since the inception of ETHS. And when we think about Wildcat pride and Wildcat love, we hope you all felt that last night in particular. The cheers were so loud, they were deafening. Because love is enduring, right? It continues forever, and Wildcat love continues forever, including when we have testing right next to us. So I normally would be a lot louder, even right now. Thank you for accommodating that as well. But we really want to say congratulations to each of you who have earned this honor, and to all of the people in your village, right? Because this is about community, and earning this is about community. And the indelible mark you already had left on ETHS in the community, and now we're just naming it and claiming it. So congratulations again to each of you, and welcome. And now I think Chris Levatino is going to introduce our next speaker.
Thank you, Taya, for being here. Every year, our Alumni Association likes to say hello and congratulate our inductees, and this year we're very lucky to have our director, David Futransky, join us. David played football and golf here and understands the legacy of ETHS and the incredible accomplishments it is to be inducted into this Hall of Fame. Please welcome David Futransky.
Thank you, Chris. I have probably the greatest job in the world. I get to spend a lot of time talking about this great high school and our alumni with people in the community, with other alumni, people around the country, people around the world. We are in the 99th year that we have been in this building. 99 years ETHS has been at Church and Dodge. 97 years that we've had Beardsley Gym as part of this building. So we have a lot of celebration coming up over the next few years. We're going to celebrate our centennial. We're going to celebrate the centennial of Beardsley Gym as we get to those points. And nothing is better to celebrate or to help us lead those celebrations than you. Our people who have stood out, who have risen above, and we've been able to recognize over the years for not just what you did here, but what you've done since you left here too. So watch for our distinguished alumni in the fall, but congratulations to all of you. You all bleed orange and blue. We appreciate that. We welcome you back, and we congratulate you for all that you've done, not just for yourselves, but to spread the glory of ETHS around our community and around the world. Thank you.
So it's really great to have all of you back home at Evanston Township High School. We're delighted to have your friends and family here to pay tribute to you, as you've brought so much pride and honor to our school with your incredible accomplishments in athletics. As you've noticed, the place has changed a little bit from maybe the time you were here last, and I'm proud and grateful to say that because of the support of our administration and the ETHS Foundation, we've been able to restore and enhance the incredible athletic facilities and academic facilities here as well over the last 15 to 20 years. You noticed last night, Lazier Field, we have lights. We probably didn't have lights when some of you guys went to school here. And it makes for quite a party, as we saw in our student section last night, especially during the third quarter. The baseball and softball complex has totally been redone. The entryway back to the athletic arena used to be like an alleyway. Some of our basketball players will remember that. And now it's a beautiful grand entrance to our school. And so many other improvements that we've made. And again, we couldn't have done that without the support of our alumni, our foundation, and our administration. But great athletic facilities only mean so much unless you've got great athletes and great coaches to lead them. And I'm here to tell you that we will never replace the iconic coaches of old, but we've got some pretty darn good coaches of our own leading our student athletes right now, and I'm really happy that you're going to get a chance to meet one of our very best this afternoon, and Coach Mike Ellis. This past year was a good year for the Wildcats. Girls lacrosse made it to the Elite Eight in state for the very first time in school history. We had 12 teams finish in the top 25, and 5 of them in the top 10. And we had some tremendous success in a wide variety of individual sports, especially highlighted by Miles Grandjean winning the state championship in the 110 hurdles, Abrielle Artley winning the state championship in the 300 hurdles, and Dawson Wright, who had never thrown the shot put before in her life, actually won a state championship in a relay, won the shot put in state, the first year doing it after an injury, and was the first shot putter ever to win a state championship for the girls at ETHS. But our overall mission isn't just athletic success. Our focus is on building better human beings that come from and in turn uplift our entire Evanston community. And to that end, we're really aggressively finding ways to dismantle barriers that have kept our Black and Latinx children from accessing historically white programs through partnerships with Girls Play Sports, Kumba Evanston. We want every single child to have the same incredible opportunities that all of you had at ETHS in any sport that they choose. And that's because we know that athletics breeds great academics as well. And I'm proud to say that the average GPA of student athletes here at ETHS is a 3.86. So, yeah, absolutely. So over 1,500 student athletes participated in sports last year, and that was their average GPA. Versus students that were not involved, still a very good GPA, 3.08. But our student athletes have almost a full GPA higher because of their involvement and connection to our school. And, I think the success in athletics and academics has also been a great boost to the number of kids that now play sports in college. On average, we send about 50 student athletes to play sports at the next level at such schools as Duke, North Carolina, Purdue, Wisconsin, Michigan State, Penn, Princeton, Michigan, Western Michigan, Stony Brook, just to name a few. But we're not here to talk about today's achievements. We are here to celebrate and honor you and all your accomplishments and the legacy you have left ETHS. Before we begin that, I want to give a special thank you to Dennis Mahoney. Dennis wrote all of the stories that are in our program today and talked to some of you guys on the phone to do that. He actually has covered ETHS athletics for the last 10 years as a volunteer sports reporter. He had that job for 40 years. Maybe Casey remembers him on the sports beat. He retired and made the mistake of asking me, is there anything you guys would like me to do at Evanston now that I'm retired? And the very next day I said, would you want to be our volunteer sports information director? And he said, sure. So he's been writing stories for the Hall of Fame and for all of our teams. He writes about 250 stories a year about ETHS athletes. When coverage of high school sports has never been lower, we're grateful to have Dennis. And the other person I want to acknowledge, who's used to make the trip out here before COVID, is a gentleman named Dan Peterson, who has been an inductee of the Athletic Hall of Fame. He's actually the voice of basketball in Italy and is in a number of Hall of Fames for his time as a basketball coach in Italy. But he's a broadcaster now, and he has done more research on the history, especially pre-1960 history of ETHS sports than anybody. And so he's responsible for the nominations of our two coaches today. And I just thank him every year because of what he's given our Athletic Hall of Fame. We have such an interesting group of inductees this year. Unfortunately, many of them are not able to be with us because of where they live these days or how long ago they were here. So that'll give us an opportunity to hear a little bit deeper from you this afternoon. So I'm excited to hear your stories from our two coaches who were the founding fathers of two of our most competitive sports programs at ETHS, to a pair of classmates and friends that lit up Beardsley Gym for 4 straight years and rewrote the ETHS basketball record books, to two of the most deserving yet unknown individual gems in the ETHS sports treasure box. Finally, to two teams that catapulted Evanston into the national spotlight and galvanized the entire community behind them in the process. You are all part of the ETHS athletic legacy from now until the end of time, and we very much look forward to hearing your stories after lunch. So now I'd like to introduce Clorinda Harbison from the athletic department, who will say our invocation and explain the marching orders for the buffet line. Clorinda has done an incredible job, as has Carolyn O'Connell, organizing all of the details for today's events. So please welcome and show your appreciation for Clorinda Harbison.
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Clorinda Harbison, as Mr. Livicino said. I'm a class of 97 alum here from ETHS. And before we begin our ceremony, I would like for us to pause for a moment of silence to remember those who are not here with us and reflect on our blessings. A moment of silence.
That was a fun little curveball when we came in today. Like as I'm walking down the hall with a cart, lady runs out, "Shh, we're testing." I was like, well, you're going to be in for a shock because we have about 80 people coming in here that are former athletes and current athletes in some cases that are going to be making some noise. So it might be a hardship for our kids, but I appreciate your relative quietness as you came through here. But let's have a little fun this afternoon as we celebrate all of the wonderful accomplishments that this group has brought to ETHS. And we're going to first start off by honoring our ETHS Hall of Fame coaches. While both of them have passed away and we are unable to connect with their families, I do want to still say a few words about each of them as we induct them into the Hall of Fame. And I encourage you to read their stories in the program, as they have had a tremendous impact on their respective programs. In fact, I would say that, of really the strongest programs in our school, which are, probably year in, year out, track and field, basketball, soccer, and swimming. These are the forefathers. These are the coaches that first had real success at ETHS. So the first coach that we want to recognize is Coach A.P. Bradley. Alvin Pierce Bradley was the class of 1905, actually went to ETHS, and was then our head track and field coach from 1917 to 1928. He, as an individual athlete here, took 3rd place in the 100-yard dash in 1905, and then had a 4-year track and field career at Northwestern. Came back and coached the kids to the school's first ever, in the history of the school, first ever IHSA state championship in 1922. And then over the course of his career, he finished in the top 7 at state 4 more times. We've won 15 state championships in track and field, and fittingly, he's the coach that started it all as an ETHS graduate. So let's give a big round of applause to Alvin Pierce Bradley. And then our next coach we want to recognize is James Bixby, who is our head basketball coach here from 1906 to 1920. He won the Suburban League 3 times and was the first ever IHSA state quarterfinalist in 1908. He won the Central States Championship, which obviously isn't a tournament today, but it was the first ever from 1911 to 1915, so 5 straight years. And then won the National Championship, as it was called, in 1917. His overall career winning percentage is 71%. And it's fitting that he goes in this year because 6 out of our 8 inductees all have a connection and a tie to the sport of basketball. So we are happy to to recognize Coach Bixby as the man who planted the seed for future basketball success. So let's give a round of applause to Coach James Bixby. And as Ms. Harbison is replacing our plaques, I want everyone to understand that these plaques are currently located in the hallway right outside of Beardsley Gym, right by the concession stand. It's been a pretty cool place of honor for the last, we're coming up on almost 30 years of the Hall of Fame. And we're going to have probably one more year in that location. And then, if I get my wish, we'll relocate all of those plaques to the new atrium area, which is sort of a grand hallway entrance to the athletic wing. I talked about it earlier. If you haven't seen it before, I will be giving a tour to anyone who wants to walk around the athletic wing after today's program. But it's going to be a beautiful space, and we have a lot more real estate there for all of our Hall of Famers. And hopefully bring you a little bit closer to eye level for people to read your plaques. But you also get individual plaques as well that you can take home with you, little smaller versions. So let's begin with our individual ETHS athletes. First off, we're going to recognize Nogel Eastern, class of 2017 basketball player. He's actually playing professionally in Mexico right now, and I think he has a game today, so he's not able to be with us. And I'm going to skip all the highlights from his Evanston career because Coach Ellis will cover those. But I did want to highlight the fact that he went on to Purdue University, where someone else that played at Evanston went to Purdue as well, but we're not going to spend any time on that. But he had a really great run there, making it to the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 as a starter, and was actually the leader in assists and steals for 2 years at Purdue, and was a two-time All-Big Ten defensive team selection during his time at Purdue. Here to introduce Nogel Eastern is our head boys basketball coach, who's the only coach in ETHS history to take the Kits to back-to-back Final Fours, and probably would have had 4 straight without COVID, Coach Mike Ellis.
Thank you, Chris. It's truly an honor to be in your athletic program and coach under your leadership. So this is the best athletic director in the nation. So I hope you appreciate all he does. I'd like to start out congratulating all of the 2023 Hall of Fame inductees. I thoroughly enjoyed reading your highlights and ETHS accomplishments through the artwork of Dennis Mahoney's write-ups. Thank you to that special SID of the athletics department for creating these stories, both in the moments in time and when reliving those great masterpieces of past athletic feats. After reading Dennis's sports articles, he always makes it feel like you were actually at the games even when you weren't. I would also like to offer my sincere appreciation to those part of Nogel Eastern's nomination to the ETHS Hall of Fame, and gratefully thank all the members of the committee that voted Nogel into the selection of the Hall of Fame. With the heavy influence of basketball members in the 2023 Hall of Fame class, I think it wouldn't be out of bounds to say you swished that one. In reflecting upon the impact Nogel's career had on ETHS athletics, I think about how it all began. Watching Nogel as a 6th grader at Fleetwood dominate the FAM League as if he was a 9th grader sneaking back into the league to play. His mom used to drive him to ETHS at 6:30 in the mornings, and we would open up Beardsley Gym for him to shoot around before he went off to middle school that day. I learned early on 2 of the 3 most dominant qualities in Nogel. 1, he had a true love for the game of basketball. And 2, he had the work ethic and the drive to put in the required time necessary for greatness. The 3rd most dominant quality of Nogel would take me a couple of years to learn. I never knew Nogel was such a musician. Your initial thought might be me referring to his lyrical genius and love for spitting hip-hop beats, but that would be incorrect. I learned that he was a musician during his sophomore year when he showed us all he was the Pied Piper of Evanston. Now, his instrument may not have been a magical flute, but a round synthetic ball. This guy, at the age of 14 or 15, had an entire cult following of grade school kids all around Evanston. Everywhere he went, it was like a rock star. In the stands before games, outside the locker room after games, going to the movies, going out for dinners. If Nogel was there, you could bet that there was a group of awe-inspired grade schoolers hoping to get in some words, a photo, or an autograph. In addition to the dominating achievements and performances you may have read in Nogel's Hall of Fame bio, I'd like to share some other amazing facts about Nogel's ETHS basketball career. Delving in deeper to his total of 92 varsity wins, he tortured the entire CSL, going to combine 36-4 in his 4 years, winning the CSL his sophomore, junior, and senior campaigns. Of those 36 CSL wins, 8 of them came against the school up north. Now, those of you that know me as an Ohio State fan, I'm not talking about that school up north. Nogel would take out the maize and blue for me once he got to Purdue. No, I'm talking about in Wilmette. In Nogel's career, he was a perfect 8-0, never knowing what it feels like to lose to your rival. Who knows, maybe it was a few of their former players that cast some mail-in Hall of Fame votes to get him inducted. Why do I think high school sports are the greatest and purest of any athletics leagues or levels? It's because even with all of this greatness here this afternoon, we've all learned to handle adversity and failures, to pick ourselves up after a low moment and grow forward. That encompasses the traits that I love the most about Nogel. His willingness to persevere, even when odds are against you or dealing with devastating injury. For Nogel, scoring a career-high 32 points in his final game as an ETHS player in the IHSA Elite Eight demonstrates his love he has for the game and his passion to compete. His love he had for his teammates, not wanting it to end, and his love he had wearing the orange and blue. As a matter of fact, Nogel was the leading scorer on the varsity team his very first game his freshman year and that final game of his career. In reflection, you've heard or will hear from some of the greatest alumni here ever to wear an Evanston uniform. They're going to share some stories about how much ETHS has meant to them, but I'm here to share the opposite for Nogel and what Nogel has meant to ETHS and what he has meant to our basketball program. For the comments he has made, appreciating all of his teammates, coaches, and teachers, it was our basketball program that benefited more from Nogel. Nogel's high character, commitment to basketball, and gifted talents allowed our program to experience many moments your typical high school team never will. His junior year, he led us to being invited to participate in the Kentucky King of the Bluegrass event, leading us to wins versus Miami Senior, Louisville Fern Creek, Lexington Dunbar, with the only loss against Cleveland Cavaliers' Darius Garland's Brentwood Academy team. In Nogel's senior year, many national events invited our ETHS program to compete with the intent of having Nogel be the feature player at these venues. It began with a matchup against current New York Knicks forward R.J. Barrett's Mount Verde Academy. Next up, it was a trip to Akron, Ohio to play at St. Vincent St. Mary's in LeBron's gym. He led us to a 2-0 finish there, defeating LeBron's coach Drew Joyce Sr. on their home court at St. Vincent St. Mary. And lastly, as a result of Nogel's talent, he afforded our program the experience of flying to Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, to compete in the nationally known Beach Ball Classic. After an opening win versus Milwaukee Bucks Grayson Allen's former Providence, Florida school, and a win versus Scott County, Kentucky, Nogel then led us in defeating Chicago Bulls #1 draft pick and current Orlando Magic big man Wendell Carter of Pace Academy, Georgia. His brilliant play versus national power Philadelphia Imhotep, scoring 28 points, 6 assists, and just 1 turnover in the championship game, losing on a buzzer beater putback, was another special, unforgettable moment. In closing, the memories Nogel carved out for all of our players are numerous. like being able to tell their friends and family while watching NBA games today, I played against one of those players in high school. Our current ETHS basketball players to this day continue to duplicate behavior passed down from prior years, witnessing Nojel's role modeling. After team meals, he would always walk around the tables we ate at and made sure they were clean, returning food trays and making sure all the chairs were pushed in. All the unseen hours of getting into the gym before school or late nights to show our players that it takes more than just 2 hours of a team practice on a daily basis to achieve greatness. Yes, there are just a few examples of how Nojel's legacy as one of the greatest ETHS basketball players of all time epitomize one of the greatest strengths as both a player and a person. Nojel's commitment of unselfishness and always putting others first before himself. To his mother, Tamala, thank you for raising such a wonderful young man. And to Nojel, thank you for giving our ETHS basketball program a foundation of lessons that stand to this day. When you may not have had an idea about what or how much you were giving, it extended far beyond solely dominating the hardwood throughout your career. It's been an honor and a privilege to have been able to coach Nojel, and once again, a well-deserved congratulations on your induction into the ETHS Hall of Fame. And as Chris said, Nojel could not be here. He's playing professionally in Mexico, picked up a win last night, but he was kind enough to share a message with us. If you could please direct your attention to the TV. Thank you.
Hola, ¿cómo estás, amigos and amigas? I'm in the Espanol right there, because that's really all I know. But now, all seriousness, no, man, I wish I could be there with y'all to celebrate this amazing award, this amazing opportunity and blessing. First off, I want to give thanks to the people who even nominated me up for this award, and also the people who has chosen me for this award as well. So I appreciate you guys, and you know, all the other people who was nominated and who was chosen for this award. Always know and remember, somebody's watching, no matter if you think they are, no matter if you think they aren't. You know, the important people are watching. So whatever you do in this world, continue to do it. Always know with this thing called the iPhone and Android, and if y'all got an Android, don't text me, please. I don't need no green bubble negative energy coming through my line. But understand that always people are watching. People are, you know, cheering you on, and they do see your value. So I just want to say to the people who were chosen, special shout out to Lay, you know, lifelong friend of mine, who also was chosen as well for this amazing award. Shout out to you. All your hard work was, you know, seen and didn't go unnoticed. So proud of you, proud of all the other people who was chosen and nominated as well. I want to also thank the people who allowed me to, you know, go out there on that court and express and show my talents and, you know, be challenged to help other people get to greater opportunities, you know, outside of high school, including myself. I want to thank myself as well for, you know, putting in the time, the effort, the long nights, long mornings to, you know, achieve this type of award, not even knowing in the back of my head this would happen. So always do what you want to do out of the love, out of the, you know, your heart and kindness, and what you feel that aligns with your energy and what you want your life to be like. So I want to thank God. I want to thank my mom, of course, for sacrificing a lot, her time, supporting me through the ups, the downs, lefts, right, sides to sides. Because without her, man, a lot of this is not possible. Let's be honest. I ain't had no car with 13, 14. You know, I wasn't be able to get to point A to point B, and I wasn't walking, and I wasn't allowed to take the bus. But nah, man, I'm just grateful. I'm just thankful, and I'm just humbled, you know, for this opportunity that was presented to me. I want to thank also Mr. Livitino, the whole Evanston, for giving me a place where I can express my talents and show my talents, and you know, hopefully brought amazing vibes, amazing energy, you know, and so on, etc., to the community. And that's all I do it for. I do it out of the kindness of my heart, and I was just grateful that I can utilize this tool, this activity called basketball, to bring, you know, people together, to give kids a person to look up to give kids hope, and so on and so on. So I'm just humbled and grateful for this opportunity, for this award. You know, I'm still writing, you know, creating the chapters for my book. You know, this is just a great achievement, but this is just a little part of the book that you will write. To all the people that's listening to this, continue to write your story. I don't care if you're 5, I don't care if you're 10, 15, 20, 60, 70, 80. It's always a story that can be created, as long as you utilize this and put this to work. So what's going on? I also want to give a special shout out to the whole Evanston Township staff, from Coach Stacy, from Coach Maine, from Coach Rudy Mayo, from Steve Turner, my freshman year, and to everybody in the program, especially Coach Ellis, one of the best coaches I've ever been coached by. Without y'all, you know, and the opportunity for y'all allow me to play the game that I know how to play, allowing me to lead a team, you know, and help the program and then help my teammates as well, is truly a blessing, truly an honor, and I appreciate y'all to the fullest. And y'all are a huge part of my success, playing professionally, and playing during that time as well. Also, a special shout out to Travis Ransom, like a dad to me. You know, I appreciate you more than ever for even bringing me to Evanston. If it weren't for you, Trav, I probably wouldn't be in the Evanston ecosystem. And man, just being a man, a father figure in my life when I didn't have one. So, Trav, the whole Evanston Township coaching staff, much love and appreciate y'all, and let's keep it going. Thank you. I wish I could be there with y'all. I hope everybody had a good time. Have a good time, and cheers up to this opportunity and this blessing. More blessings to come. Let's go.
Tamala Reed, if you could come on up. Congratulations again to Nogel, great young man from the class of 2017. And now for another class of 2017 ETHS Hall of Fame inductee, Leah Amari Wool was a 4-year starter at ETHS with 92 career wins and 2-time All-State selection. She's the all-time career scoring leader at ETHS and the all-time career leader in three-point field goals. She had a 5-year collegiate basketball player who was team MVP at Western Michigan and also advanced to the NCAA tournament with Stony Brook. In her collegiate career, she had 1,000-plus points and 500-plus rebounds. Here to introduce her today is an E-Town legend in her own right as both a former student athlete and one of our top math teachers at the school, her mother, Jamila Dorsey.
Thank you. Okay. Since I turned 25, I had to put these on. Okay. All right. Our little speech here. All right. So, Thought you were a little taller, Chris. Okay. So, good afternoon. As you said, my name is Jamila Dorsey, and I have the pleasure of introducing this lovely young lady to you all. I'll say a few things about her first. Chris took some of the stuff that I was going to say, so I might not repeat it, but I heard the 3-point thing, and I just wanted it to say, because her dad said make sure I say something about him. I think, I used to think that he was just the best 3-point shooter out here. I would go watch him, and he would stop at half court and take 3, shoot, and then come to the other side of half court to play D, so that wasn't his strong suit. But I do think now that his daughter is the best 3-point shooter in the family, so she may have got it from him, so I'll give him that. But that defense, and I think some of you all who played with him know that coming from 3-point line to 3-point line is not defense, so she might have got her defense from me. All right. But, so to my daughter, to one of the greatest loves of my life. My daughter, Leah Amari Anae Ruth Wool, is a super talented, amazing person. Her accomplishments so far are beyond anything Steve and I could have imagined for her. They have all come with sacrifice, dedication, hard work, tears. If you're an athlete, you've seen tears, and happiness and discipline, all on Amari's part. I'm sorry, I call her Amari. I would tell this story. One side of the family calls her Leah, the other side calls her Amari. That would be my side, so Amari's, I'm talking about Leah. Okay. Anyway, on Amari's part. From the time she was a little girl in school, Amari always shined in everything she did. And what an opportunity to be inducted into ETHS's Hall of Fame, where her stars could shine brightly for everyone to see. But I want to say, I knew that Amari was destined to be great on and off the court from the time, I think maybe she was 3 or 4. Now, we thought her brother was going to be our baller, because we would take him to all the games, to all the practices, get the trainers and all this. When he was cut his sophomore year, I about died. But anyway, we thought that he was going to be a baller. But when she was 3 or 4, he was 6, and he was playing in this little pee-wee basketball game. And I believe Amari just ran out onto the court, ripped the ball out of some little boy's hands, traveled down the court, and shot it. And we were like, what? So that was, from there on, that was our baller. And that was the way that Amari portrayed herself from, I guess, till this day, that she would, all right, let me get to where I want. She has had that mentality ever since, to take what she wants and show anyone that she belongs because of the work she puts in. She often plays with her dad and his friends, and I think they can all attest to her ruling the court, and I think she beat you a few times one-on-one, her dad. You don't become Evanston's all-time female leading scorer without a work ethic. You don't make honor roll each semester of your high school life without discipline. You don't score over 1,000 points in high school and 1,000 points in Division I basketball, as well as over 500 rebounds grabbed without sacrifice put in. You don't make it to an NCAA tournament without commitment. You don't graduate by being a full-time student and athlete without hard work. Words cannot surmise how incredibly proud her father and I are, as well as many of her friends, her Aunt Bevy, who I'm telling you is a trooper. She would come to games that would be 2 hours away, snowstorm, and her Aunt Bevy would show up. Her grandmother, who is now with us, also I want to make sure that I point her out. Bunny was also one of the greatest supporters of her and loved her with all her heart. To my heart, my baby girl, my pumpkin, my world, you deserve the best, and this accolade is only the beginning. I can't wait to see what the world has for you. You are the love of my life, and I'm so proud of you. I know I had to. Huh? My pumpkin.
You are short too. I'm weak. Is this on? Hello? Hello, everybody. Sorry for crying. Very embarrassing. I have a speech. It may not be as funny as No Jails, but that's my life. Okay. I want to say I am beyond grateful to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, especially with one of my closest friends, No Jail, as we all saw from his video. And I'll be lying if I said I got here all by myself. It definitely takes a village to raise somebody. As you can see, you know, I have my mom, my dad, but I also have my close circle as well. I'll just attest to No Jail's character. Even though this award is about myself, I would not be where I am without him. As a lot of you know, in high school, you would see, if you saw No Jail, you would see me, vice versa. And he pushed me to be who I am on and off the court. Watching somebody who loved the game as much as he did was honestly a blessing, because he didn't take anything for granted. He would show up first, leave last, and tell me I need to show up first and also leave last. I'll just tell a quick story. I remember me and No Jail got in a really big argument, and I told my mom, and I told Tamla, I'm like, I'm done. I'm not his friend anymore. This is it. Like, if I see him in the hallway, I'm not speaking. And we have the same trainer, and my mom was like, we're gonna go see Octavius. We have to train tomorrow. And I was like, okay. And Tamla and my mom set both me and No Jail up. There was no training session. They drove both of us to the gym and made us make up right there. And there was never a day since that we haven't been friends. I want to just say thank you. I know he's not here, but I know he'll see this video. I want to say thank you. His name in my phone is Nogel/Dad, because he acts like my dad. I love you with all my heart, and I'm just incredibly proud. It doesn't matter if you ever step back foot on a basketball court, like, your legacy will forever be throughout Evanston because of the person you are, not because of the sport you play. And love you. Love you, No Joe. I want to say thank you to my mom and my dad. My mom spoke about sacrifice, and it wasn't only on my part. It takes a lot for somebody to give up their weekends, their free days, their free nights to drive to some hot gym and watch a 13-year-old girl jag layups, travel up and down the court a couple times. But it's because of those sacrifices that I had the honor to even be standing here today or earn the scholarship I had at Western Michigan and Stony Brook. I want to say thank you to you both, because there was days where I was like, I just don't know if I can do this anymore. And you guys pushed me to be the best version of myself, not only on the court, but off. And it took a long time coming, a lot of character development, but I really love who I am today because of the people I'm surrounded by. I also want to say thank you to all my coaches. I have a list just in case I forgot anybody. I want to say thank you to Coach Johnson, Coach Whitefield, Rick Kolsky, Yates, Bob Slaughter, and Josh Oppenheimer. Not a lot of people are blessed. Well, even Ellis, because he let me be on the team my senior year, so thank you. Not a lot of people are blessed to have those type of people in your life who care for you more than just an athlete, and I think we're seeing more of that today. But it was never just me on the court. They cared about me off the court as well. Rick Kolsky, I called him maybe like a year ago. I just finished up an internship with the Brooklyn Nets, and he took time out of his day to sit with me, practice Zoom interviews, help me with my resume, reached out on my behalf. And this is a man who was my coach when I was in 6th grade, and I'm 24. So it never stops. Like, I have no words to express the gratitude that I have for these people in my life who took the extra step to make sure that I'm okay, just not because I'm a basketball player. So I'm forever grateful and indebted to them as well. I also want to thank the Evanston community. I don't think we know how much we have here until you leave and you listen to other people talk about their high schools. And I'm like, oh, you guys had a track around your basketball court? We have our track separate from our field. Like, we have our own football field, the facilities. But it's more than the facilities for me. I've had teachers travel to come watch me play at NIU. Miss Seaver, one of the sign language teachers, always reaches out to me to this day. And I don't know if I express this enough, but it really means a lot to me when they come watch me play, because this is something I love and they love me. So I'm forever grateful for people who come and got to see me play, because I think I'm pretty good. So I hope it was worth the trip. I also want to do a special shout out to my Aunt Bevy. I'm not gonna cry. You mean the world to sorry. You mean the world to me. Sorry, I'm a really emotional person, everybody, but I'm not gonna say too much, but thank you for always coming to my games and being my #1 supporter since high school. It doesn't go unnoticed, and I really love you. I'm also gonna give a shout out to my little brother, because he's probably like, what is this lady crying about? But I just hope you know, like, everything that I do is for you, and even if you never play a sport, I'm always proud of you, and I love you with my whole heart. And I just want you to know, he's like, he doesn't know what's going on, but I do this for you, and I hope you get to come to Evanston and live and leave your legacy in whatever way that you want to leave your legacy. It doesn't have to be sports, even though I do want you to play one. But yeah, I just want to say thank you to everyone. I love you, Mom. I love you, Dad. And I'm more than grateful to be inducted with my uncle and my dad as well. You guys are great role models. And I always tell him Uncle Louis was the best out of our family. But yeah, that's all. Thank you. I'm sorry if I miss everybody, but like I said, it takes a village to raise somebody. And that's what I am. I'm a product from everyone in front of me. And I hope that I won't forever be the best basketball player for the women's. I want this sport to continue to grow. And I hope to see that with our women's team. Thank you.
Congratulations again to Leah Amari, and beautiful speech. And I'll say this, getting to watch youth sports for so many years, as much as you were appreciative of Rick Kolsky reaching out to you and still working with you, when I guarantee you asking him made his month, made his year. So thank you for keeping him in your life as well. All right, moving on to our next inductee. I'd like to recognize and honor Gus Iliopoulos from the class of 1976 boys soccer. He was the most valuable player of the Illinois High School Soccer Coaches Association #1 ranked team, which was inducted to ETHS Athletic Hall of Fame last year in 1975. He was the leading goal scorer on that team and the year before. He was All-State, All-Midwest, and All-American selection, and went on to play at the University of Illinois, Chicago. Here to introduce Gus are two of his teammates and classmates who were inducted with the team last year, Nat Rosenberg and Dale Atkinson. Gentlemen.
I love how you guys think something is short. Well, you heard a little bit right there. I want to start by saying that we were incredibly humbled and honored to have our 1975 boys varsity soccer team inducted into the Hall of Fame here at Evanston last year, and I congratulate every single person that's in this room that's being inducted this year, and I assure you, you will take that pride with you for the rest of your life. I'm here to talk about Gus Eliopoulos today, and there is no more deserving person. And what I'm going to try to do is bring you back to the 1970s where there was no film, there was no ESPN or anything else. And I'm going to try to paint you a couple pictures of Gus as a person, Gus as a player, but more importantly, what Gus meant to the legacy of soccer at Evanston Township moving forward. Because I think that's actually his greatest accomplishment. So all the way back to 1969, where we were all in 6th grade at Chute Junior High on the south side of Evanston, and this young man walked onto the playground directly from Athens, Greece, holding a brown soccer ball. And of course, none of us played soccer, maybe other than in gym. And like 11 and 12-year-old boys, we did what those boys would do, and that was Gus put the ball down and started to dribble it, and we followed him around and tried to take it away from him, and we couldn't. And from that point forward, we started playing soccer on the playground at Chute, after school, at recess, and at lunchtime. And because we have swimmers that are being honored and basketball players that are being honored here, one of the images that I want to try to put into your mind is being in 6th grade, walking onto a new playground, not for swimmers, walking onto a new pool, where nobody played the sport that you played. As a basketball player, you're there, you're putting the ball through your legs, you're dribbling around, and there's not a single person there that even understands what you're doing. And you don't speak English. That's what Gus walked into in 6th grade. That group of friends, that group of soccer players walked onto the Evanston Township soccer field as seniors, and as has already been described, we were the #1 team in the state. And I want to talk a little bit more about his legacy in a moment. But the second image that I want to put in your head is, what was it like to see Gus as a player? There are a lot of good scorers out there. There are a lot of players that can dribble a ball. By his senior year, what made Gus unique was his intelligence and his determination. And what I mean by that was that you wanted to see Gus shoot the ball because you have never seen anything like that before in your life. And I was trying, once I was told that Gus had been inducted, to try to put that picture in your head, and I couldn't think of a soccer analogy. And I ask your forgiveness because I'm going to take you on a tangent for a moment, and I'm going to ask you to think about Tiger Woods, which I know sounds crazy because that's golf. And I'm going to ask you to think about Tiger Woods approaching his tee shot and being there by himself and looking over the fairway and adjusting his legs, and the ball is between his legs, and he starts to take his club back with a little bit of pace, and he comes through with the thunder of God. That nobody had seen a ball driven like that. And so as I bring you to the soccer fields of 1975 in the fall, I need you to picture Gus either hitting a ball on a one-touch or taking a touch and lining it up between his legs, surveying the field, knowing where he is on the field, arching his back, bending his leg over the ball, coming through, and hitting the ball with the thunder of God. It was something that I have never forgotten. And we won. We won like nobody's business. And so as we heard about all the goals and all the honors that he has had, I'm going to talk a little bit about the legacy of the team, and again, bring that back to Gus and to that playground in South Evanston. The winter before our senior year, before that year on varsity, we played in a soccer league up in Lake Forest in an indoor facility. We played at the senior level, even though all of the players on our team were juniors. And we won the league. We won the championship game, and I loved how you talked about, or Coach Ellis talked about the people from the north, because we beat New Trier West, who had been state champions, and we beat them 5-1. And the thing about that is that their coaches, the New Trier West high school coaches, came to that game with their video cameras because they were going to use that as a training film for all the levels of soccer players at New Trier West. And we won that game, and we won it decidedly. And 10 of the 12 people that were on that team came from that playground at Shoot that would not have played soccer had it not been for Gus. I gotta make sure I get this right. That summer, we went to Sweden as a soccer team. Two parents, Alan Chalam's father, who's here with us today, and Norm Rubens, who's not in the room today, their parents started the first soccer association in Evanston. The Evanston, USA, United Soccer Association, and that group of kids raised over $10,000. This was not paid for by our parents. We did not have that money. We went to Sweden. We did not lose a game. And again, the vast majority of those kids came from that playground. We've told you about our accomplishment as a high school team. The number 1 team in the state was Evanston Township. The number 2 team in the state was New Trier East. The number 3 team in the state was New Trier West. The number 4 team in the state was Highland Park. Those were the top 4 teams in the Central Suburban League, and we were the top team. Again, none of that happens without Gus. And so the final 2 pieces of the legacy are this. The first is when Gus and I were on the varsity as juniors, we practiced by the parking lot next to the varsity baseball field, and that's where we played our varsity games. And if you're a forward and you have to try to make a shot or a cross over a pitching mound, it's not nice. It's not pretty, okay? Our senior year, we played every game in the stadium. We had thousands of fans. We had people from the city coming out who didn't have kids at the high school. And I truly believe this was a turning point. All of these things were a turning point in Evanston Township soccer. And the other turning point is that the vast majority of those players from the team went on to play college soccer, Division I through NAIA. When I was coming up through the system, we all knew a kid that played college soccer, maybe 2. Now it was an expectation. After we left, there was an expectation that if you were coming through the Evanston Township soccer program, you were going to go on to college. And I can tell you personally that had it not been for soccer, I'm not sure I would have graduated high school, let alone college. That was the thing that really kept me focused. So there's not much else to say other than we're here to honor a person who's just had an extraordinary career and is having an extraordinary life, and we're deeply appreciative. Thank you, Gus.
Good afternoon. I'm Dale Atkinson, and as Nat just said, there's probably not much else to say, but I'm going to say a few things here, if you don't mind. I have some props as well. But Gus, let me start out by saying congratulations on this recognition. You deserve this for all the reasons that you just heard. You are such a leader on the team. And everybody knows what this is, right? Right? And we all know what it stands for. With all due respect to ETHS and the legacy of everything about this this school, both academically and athletically, I am going to use this as my remarks for you. And I'm going to start with the letter E of education. Now, I have to admit, just saying here, Gus, I never saw you in a classroom, but I am assuming you made it all the way through around the couch. That was supposed to be funny. You all are supposed to laugh at that, by the way, but highly education. And we have so much thanks to this school for that. But Gus brought some E's to the table here of energy, enthusiasm, engaging, and also entertaining. Gus, you may not remember this story, but I remember we had a long conversation once about Kool and the Gang and the words to the song Hollywood Swinging. And so, because you didn't understand all of those, and so we had a great conversation about that. So, but the real E here is excellence. Gus was such an excellent soccer player and was such a leader for all of us as well. And so again, thank you very much, Gus, for what you brought. And just for today only, and just perhaps in our community here, this E stands for Eliopolis right now for just a minute. So Gus, I can't let you sit back there while we talk about you, so come on up real quick. You're going to have your picture probably taken anyway, so you might as well come up here right now. Now, my mother was such a big fan of yours as well. She saved every Evanston review for all the write-ups about the team. So this one is from October 9th, 1975. It happens to be the one game we lost this season, the write-up in here, but it had the most pictures of Gus. So I want you to have this as well. So take that. And this is a soccer ball. This is a soccer ball, and all of us have written notes for Gus on this as well. So I want you to have this as well on behalf of all of us. So Eliopolis for today, but ETHS in the long run. So Gus, thank you so much for what you did for us as well. Thank you.
One of you on each side. You can slide over your
Wow, I don't know what else to say. You know, talking about Chris, he called me about a couple months ago and told me about that and the induction to the Hall of Fame. And I can tell you one thing, somebody said he's a great leader, a great communicator. I talked to him about 3 or 4 times on the phone, and it's like I know him for years. Okay, so I can understand why he's one of the best athletic directors in the country, and thank you. First of all, I want to, it's a quite of honor. It's a little bit overwhelming after all these years to be here and to accept the award, to enter the Hall of Fame, and I'm humbled. It's been, just tell you a little bit about myself. I was born in Greece. I came here at age 9, and even at age 9, I had played a lot of soccer from 6 years old to 9. We used to listen to soccer games. We didn't have TVs. We listened to soccer games, and I think that developed the love for the game more because you can imagine things a lot more as a kid as you would watching TV. In Europe, soccer is a religion. It's really not a sport. Everybody lives for Sunday games. So my parents came here. I didn't speak very much English. I was forced to learn English within, believe it or not, 2 months because everybody was yapping at me and I didn't know what they were saying. So I was forced to learn quick. And one talent that I had, which I thought it was just playing soccer, some other people thought, wow. And that's where my friendship started at Shoot with a lot of the kids. Trust me, I think the last year at Shoot, I don't think any of the players that Ned talked about ever went to lunch. I think the first thing when the class let out, we were out there playing, kicking the ball around, and having fun. I want to thank the ETHS athletic department for the induction to the Hall of Fame. Thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. I want to thank my teammates, Tom Jimboys, Dale Atkinson, Al Chalem, and Ed Rosenberg for really pushing to get this done for me, and I'm humbled and thank you very much. There was a lot of things. Some people say why this is important. At the time, I did not realize that what I did playing with everybody, it was really bringing kids together to be teammates, to be able to communicate, to be able to love, to be able to care for other people. I never seen that before. And we stuck it all the way from 6th grade all the way through high school with great success. I think the thing that I love the most when I played soccer with all my teammates is that I can look at somebody in the face and know what they were going to do next. That's something that's very hard to do today. We never played organized sports. The school let out, we got the ball, we knocked a few doors, we had a team, we'd go out there and play. Today, if it's not organized, you don't play. That's the sad part of it. But for us, it was just natural to do all this kind of stuff. Some memories of the high school games that we played was New Trier. I don't know if you guys know New Trier and us, we always played for a fire hydrant. Okay? I like to see the fire hydrant outside the locker room. Dogs were not allowed at the time, but we still wanted to see the fire hydrant in front of our lockers that we owned it. A couple other things that we did that I will not mention names. The day before a New Trier game, we drove to the New Trier Stadium, and we had a few bags of flour, and we put a big E in the middle of the field. So I could remind them who they were playing next day, and it worked. We won. But it was funny stuff like that we did, and we were together all the time. We did things together, and I love them all. And to this day, I love them all. Tom, I know you talk about me doing a bicycle kick. I'm sorry, I will not do one today, okay? We always, or at least I did, I always carried a can of orange and blue paint in my locker just in case we want the fire hydrant back. So it was my privilege to paint that thing when it came back on our side. Today, I had all my family come to watch this, and especially my granddaughter, Genevieve. And the reason that I wanted to show her that if you love something and you work hard, you can achieve it. I will cherish this day, and it will enter my heart forever. Thank you very much.
Congratulations again to Gus. And Gus hit on a point. They talked about Shoot. And I don't know if you guys know this, but Leah, Amari, and Nogel also attended Shoot. And I'm sure there's some members. Can anybody who went to Shoot just stand up for a second? All right, stay standing. I'm going to take a picture for. Just stay standing. This is for Jim McCollin. He's the principal there now. Evanston grad. 1, 2, 3. Here we go. All right. He's very proud. He actually sent me a text when the story broke about the Hall of Fame inductees and said, "You see, they're all from Shoot, right?" He's a great leader there now and was a great Evanston grad as well. Our final individual inductee is Caesar Felton Zip Gales from the class of 1920. Played football and basketball at ETHS. And this may be the longest list of accomplishments that we have, I swear to God, on any plaque out in the Hall of Fame. So I've tried to just pare it down to just some of the biggest ones. As an athlete at ETHS, was all Cook County football selection in 1919. He was a 4-year varsity athlete in football and basketball at Morehouse College and won a national championship in both sports at Morehouse. He was the all-star first half-century college football team selection. He was the athletic director at Langston University for 35 years, 1930 to 1965. And while he was the athletic director, there also was the head basketball coach and head football coach, and at one point was even the head baseball coach. But as the head basketball coach and head football coach, he won 2 national championships in each sport. So he won 4 national championships while coaching and serving as AD at Langston. He's already in 3 Halls of Fame, the National Collegiate Basketball Hall of Fame, Oklahoma Sports, and Langston University. And they even named the field house after him at Langston University. So here to accept the Athletic Hall of Fame plaque is an ETHS Athletic Hall of Famer himself and the husband of Zip's closest of kin, Romy Taylor. Romy.
Thank you, Chris. I'd like to thank everybody for coming out and being part of this celebration. It's really important. And Zip Gales is a hidden figure. Zip graduated from ETHS in 1920. Went on to Northwestern for a short period, but went to Morehouse, Historical Black College, for 4 years, and just did a phenomenal job. In basketball, he was All-American, and in football, he was All-American. But Evanston is such a unique community, and I'd like to just thank the ETHS staff and the athletic department for pulling this all together, because we've talked a lot about New Trier. New Trier doesn't have a Hall of Fame. They don't believe in, I don't know what they believe in, but they do not, they do not have a Hall of Fame. So I think Evanston is very unique because a lot of schools do have this Hall of Fame, and we get a lot of mileage from it. And I think it's just tremendous. I'm fortunate that from a basketball perspective, I've coached, matter of fact, Everett played for me as a young guy, and we would go out to Arlington Heights and all around the suburbs and play basketball. Brian Brown played for me also as a player as we won championships with FAM. And I was a Laker coach in the Hall of Fame with the FAM organization as well. So getting back to thanking ETHS for allowing this opportunity to recognize all the past athletes, I think is extremely important, and I think we can get a lot of mileage from that. Zip Gales was just, like I said, a hidden figure, because he was Evanston, again, is so unique. He was part of the first Boy Scout troop, colored Boy Scout, black Boy Scout troop in America. It was right here in Evanston. And so that's, again, 100 years ago, Boy Scouts was important. Zip was a man of tremendous character. He had basketball teams that not only won, but it was important that how to play the game. And they played with a lot of dignity, a lot of pride. He didn't allow showboating. That was something that was not acceptable. Zip has been in a number of Hall of Fames. When I say Hall of Fames, I mean he's in NCAA Hall of Fames and all types of Hall of Fames for what he's done. And again, I'd like to thank ETHS for acknowledging Zip at this time, because he's a hidden figure, and it would be possible that with all his accomplishments, they wouldn't get recognized, but they have gotten recognized. And I'd like to thank all the folks that have supported this nomination. So again, I'd like to thank everybody for coming out, and thank you, Chris, for the opportunity to talk. Thank you.
If anybody is ambitious to get into the Hall of Fame that's not in already, that's here, just you can send your resume to Romy Taylor. He's 3 for 3 with his nomination bids. They put together an amazing packet. It's really something to see. So Romy, congratulations on the write-up. And thank you, more importantly, for bringing that hidden figure to light at ETHS, because he's somebody we really want to showcase and be proud of. So thank you for that. All right, we are now moving on to our final 2 inductees, our teams. And unfortunately for the 1959-60 boys swimming and diving team, they're literally scattered all over the country, a lot in California. We've reached out to as many as we were able to track down, and they just weren't able to make it back. But I still want to say a few words about them. Coached by Dobby Burton, these Wildcats made history and broke records all over this state and all over the United States. They won the IHSA state championship in 1960, and at state, they finished either first, second, or third place in 11 different events, including 4 individual state championships that set 4 different state records at the time. That also led them to win the mythical National Public High School Championship. They had the top 5 fastest times in the nation in 5 different events, including the fact that they set the national record in the medley relay. And in my conversation with Jeff Moore, who is one of those state champions, about a month ago, and I shared this at our preseason coaches meetings as well, he said, he goes, Chris, I'm really sorry I'm not going to be able to make it out there. I just can't do it. But I'll tell you this. He was about to hang up and he goes, hey, I just wanted to tell you this. The 4 years of swimming at Evanston under Coach Burton taught me more about life and the value of hard work than any other experience I've had in my entire life. And this man's around 80 years old. And that just tells you the power of ETHS and high school sports that I know all of you have been witness to. And again, congratulations to the 1959-1960 boys swimming and diving team. All right. Because of our unique situation today, we've listened, believe it or not, to far fewer speeches than we normally have. So we're going to try something a little different, see how it works. I'm going to read a few highlights about our final team, and then I'm just going to ask all you guys to come on up and have a seat in the chairs. We're going to give you guys your individual plaques at that time as well. So if you can form a line, that'd be awesome. You guys can then get up and make any remarks you want, although we'll start with Coach Williams, about your memories from that season, and thank anyone who played a significant role in your life leading up to the success of that season. Try still to keep it to a few minutes, no more, maybe 1 or 2 per person. But here are the highlights for the 1983-84 boys basketball team. Led by head coach Herb Williams, the Wildcats won a school record 32 games. They were undefeated the entire season until that state championship game and were ranked number 12 in the nation by USA Today. They finished the season as the IHSA state runner-up. Personally, as an 11-year-old growing up in Evanston, these guys were gods, and it's my honor and privilege to induct them into the ETHS Athletic Hall of Fame today. Congratulations to our 83-84 boys basketball team on your induction. Start the line here. We'll take a team photo at the end, okay? You want to go last? Okay. We're actually going to save the best for last and let Coach Herb Williams pick up the rear. So, gentlemen, we'll leave it up to you. If anyone would like to come up and say a few words about your experience and thank any individuals, the mic is open. I can't believe for that shot.
First of all, good afternoon, everyone. I'm Tony Mason, and I was one of the co-captains of this team, and I want to start out by thanking those who nominated us for this honor as a team. What you are looking at up here is family. These are all of my brothers. And I can tell you it didn't just start at Evanston, although it obviously had a profound impact on us. Almost every single one of us either played together in middle school or we played at the FAM League. And so I want to acknowledge you, Coach Taylor, and all of the coaches that were part of FAM that influenced all of our development personally and as well as basketball players, because you all modeled the way for us. So let's give Coach Taylor and everybody connected with FAM And then, of course, I want to shout out to our coach, which I know we're going to hear from him. But Coach Williams did an amazing job with our team, not only as a head coach, but also as someone who served at times as a surrogate father, but also as a role model for us as well. And so there's no doubt we wouldn't be here today without your leadership and your guidance and even the lessons you are still imparting upon us now. And then I know that there are some people that are not in this room today. We've got some mothers and some fathers and guardians that have gone on to glory that I know are looking down on this moment and are saying, you know what, congratulations, we're proud of us because of the hard work we put in. You don't go 32-1 without working hard, but also having a great deal of love, faith, respect, and support for each other. I mean, we actually had fun doing this. And there's the stories you'll never hear about, the things we got in trouble over. And Coach every now and then will hint at stuff, and we'll look at him like, Coach, no, not today. But again, it's really an honor. And again, I couldn't think of, this is the only way to go in this as a team and as a family. And I can tell you, our ability to play together as a team, we weren't always the most talented team, but we knew we were the smartest team, the hardest working team, and then no matter what, we always had the best player on the floor, Mr. Everett Stevens right here. Should have been Mr. Basketball in 1984. And so again, I'm not going to monopolize the time because I know Derek Brown, Brian Brown, Lou Wool, there's a whole bunch of people up here like to talk. So now they're going to cut loose. But hey, guys, congratulations to us. And again, thank you for each and every one of you for being here today and for your support throughout the years, not just in 1984, but those of you that were a phone call away when we just needed a little guidance and support along the way, becoming adults who are contributing to society. So thank you.
That was a great speech, Tony. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Lou Wool. I was the other co-captain with Tony, and I want to thank everybody who is here this afternoon, my family that's here, each of you, and my teammates. Greatest group of brothers that I could ever have. We were beyond words close. We did everything together. And we loved each other, and we loved basketball, and we played all the time since we were this high. Like what was explained in soccer, there was nothing organized. We just went to the park and played. And what wasn't mentioned is that team, we just refused to lose. We never lost. Not only did we go undefeated, but in the spring league we played against a bunch of Chicago public school teams. In the summer league, I think we were about 55-0 going into the state championship game, right? We had never lost. And I remember losing that last game, and I just couldn't stop crying because we had never lost, but most importantly, because I knew that that was the last time I was going to play with these guys. I want to thank Coach Williams. He had the unique ability to work with a broad spectrum of kids. He knew how to relate to each of us. The parents and families, I mean, all these guys, I was at their house all the time. Tony was joking, I was the white kid in the neighborhood in the middle of the night, and his mother, Dorothy, was afraid I was... Tony said, Lou will be okay. We just played all the time. We loved it. ETHS is a special place. Everything that it represents, I take with me. Their families, I take with me. And I'm just beyond grateful to have had this in my life. I love all of you guys, including Coach Williams, and God bless everybody. Thank you.
Okay, Derek, get up. Let's go. Coach. Derek Brown.
No, he's over there.
No, relax. Go. I'm still coach.
I'll say something briefly, guys. It's very brief. Very brief.
You might need to raise that mic.
Yeah, very brief. I've got a burning sensation in my arm.
Pardon my limp. I just had my hip replaced, and it's all because of this man over here, and the many line drills we did. No, I'm just honored to be here with these guys. We had incredible basketball players. We had incredible athletes that Coach Williams somehow brought together to form this team, and. I remember junior year to senior year. Junior was a little bit disappointing, and then something over the summer and spring just took off. And it was a collection of the personalities of each one of these guys, from the juniors and the seniors alike together. We just had a special bond, and we would never, ever be out hustled at the end of any game. Coach Williams was ruthless when it came to conditioning, just ruthless. And as much as we kid about it now, we weren't kidding about it then. But we were never beaten in the fourth quarter ever. We might have been there might be more talent on the court, and there might have been more giftedness on the court, but there was never guys who had more desire to win because we had a leader who taught us how to win. So I'm just honored that you're here with us, Coach, today for this, because he made such a difference in all of our lives, especially mine. And I'm a legacy guy. My dad played here, I played here, and just being honored with these guys is just a special, special time. So thank you for you guys. Thank you for the committee. Steve, thank you. And we want to certainly hear from Ev, because I think Everett needs to say just a couple words. Come on. I can give you his accolades. I mean,
it was. Just reflecting and being here and just being honored. Life is like a full circle, and when I think about just my journey, I can recall looking at my brothers and seeing how they had that letter E, from high school, and thinking how cool that was. And then me going through all the trials and tribulations of basketballs, up and downs, playing with fam, playing on the playgrounds, and then hearing and being a part of a special team. The stars were aligned, and it was just fun. It was just fun being out there because we really wanted one another to do well, and I think that was one of the reasons why we were so good, is because we cared for one another and we played hard, and it just came through, with us having an opportunity to show all that, as we continually play basketball. And now that we're older, we're done playing basketball, reflecting on that, it's just one of those things where you can see how life is full circle. And here it is, we're back here able to enjoy all the hard work that we put in, all the special people that allowed for us and helped us to get to this point. This is really a wonderful honor going into the Hall of Fame with teammates who you really care and love about. So I just want to thank you guys, man, because this was a wonderful ride we had, and it's special. Thank you, guys.
I bring it down a little bit. Thank you, Chris, committee, for bringing these guys not only into the Hall of Fame, but bringing them back together. They are truly, truly a family of guys. They've kept up with each other through the years. I could probably go on and tell you a number of stories about each one of them. Some good, some bad, some you don't want to hear. But Amari, let me tell you a little secret. I don't care if you shot bricks, you shoot better than your dad. He was a left-hander, and I used to tell him all the time, don't go on the left side of the court because you have to use your right hand. So go on the left side of the court. He still couldn't shoot from the left side of the court. But no, it was a great group of guys, and like Jimmy Finucane over here. Jimmy was this tall, and I convinced him that he could dunk. And I just come out, practice a couple times, and say, Jimmy, go dunk. And he would get about this far from the rim. And he said, I'm getting there, coach. But he was convinced, am I right, that you could dunk. But I wanted to instill confidence in these guys, not just for basketball, but for life. And hopefully I did accomplish that with you guys. I want you to go out, leave ETHS knowing that no matter what you face, you could conquer it if you done two things: win. Everybody remember we had win on our shorts, which meant what? Work hard, put some intensity in your work, and what was it? Never say you're defeated. And we worked on that all year long, and they did an excellent job. Myself, Romy, I know you remember I used to come over there to Fam League and see some of these guys play, along with Gene Bell and some others who became mentors to me. And I won't forget Herbert. That's Stephen's Everett's brother. He did an excellent job. He'd come down and we'd talk. And I give him my frustrations, because there were some frustrations during the year. And Coach, you know about those. There was a lot of frustration, but we got through it. And again, you know, wonderful group of guys. I'm proud of each and every one of you. You've grown up to be young men, successful young men, families, etc. So I appreciate you, appreciate the ETHS. I gotta say, I left ETHS after their season, but I always have come back until I got a little bit older and can't have seat, can't drive, faint all the time, throw up all the time, just get whatever. But as no guy, I'm glad to be back here once more again. It's Evanston Township High School. Final thought. It wasn't the fact that they won. This team brought a school together. I remember being down in Champaign, they told me that every classroom in this building, wasn't like it was now, but it was a big building, had the state championship games on for those that couldn't go. I think they had, 22 buses from the school go down to the state championship game. But that's what they did. They brought the school together. And bringing the school together, they brought a community together. People that were excited to see them play, excited to see them not as basketball players, but as human beings that were working together for an accomplishment of a goal, and they did that. So they brought the community together. And closing remarks, I think the last time we were together, I gave them, was it three notebooks? They were mine. They were given to me by a person. They said, I want you to have this in remembrance of the '84 team. And I told them, as I gave it to Tony and Lou, these are your memories. My memories will always be there. Even after I'm gone, you'll have these memories and give them to your teammates. So guys, I love you. I appreciate you. Keep growing. Keep growing. Keep growing. Keep being successful. And most of all, final thing, Everett, his real name is Everett Stevens, but I lived over in Pittner. He lived down the street from me. I see a little boy walking down the street. I said, hey, young man, what's your name? He would say, Everett Stevens. I said, what? Everett Stevens. So from that time to now, even now I call him E.T. Okay? So E.T., we're proud of you and the things you've done, on to Purdue. And I had to play you at Michigan State. I think we beat you a couple times. You beat us a couple times, but I appreciate them. I appreciate you. Chris, again, thank you. Wonderful, wonderful ceremony. Something that you can be proud of, something the school can be proud of. And you're right. New Trier don't have this because they can't measure up to ETHS.
Thank you, Coach. And if we could have all the guys get together for one group picture, we're going to try to pull this off. I don't know the best way to do it. We'll take direction from the photographer here. He's been awesome. And I will share a link to Stuart Rogers for you guys to be able to access these pictures. But let's have Coach. I know one thing. Let's have Coach in the middle here. With the spot here, the podium. In front of the podium. Yep, right here. Guys, fill in around him.
Okay, one
already. Some of the taller guys, everybody there. Here you go.
Which one are we doing? Which one? One at a time, no, one at a time.
Big one first, guys.
Big guy first.
Although, you ready to go? All right. Look at all the little,
Make sure you get my
little
hair.
camera phones out.
to you. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much.
These guys have also been gracious enough to allow me to kind of surf on their text thread for the last couple of months. We recognized them over the winter season, and that was great because I was then able to let them all know at the same time that they were inducted in the Hall of Fame. And they're just awesome guys. Like they share these great memories and thoughts and prayers with each other every other day, and it's just been a blessing for me to be able to kind of get a glimpse into that brotherhood. So congratulations again to the 84 boys basketball team. We really want to just give one final congratulations to all of our inductees. We thank you all for being here tonight and for the friends and family that have been here to support you as well. Feel free to stay around for a little bit longer to chat if you'd like. I'm also happy to take anyone who's interested in seeing the ETHS athletic wing on a little tour. Just stick around a little bit longer and I'll take you down there. And if you haven't seen the Michael B. Arrington Wellness and Performance Center, our weight room that Michael Arrington helped donate towards, it's amazing. And it actually does make that school to the north look kind of small and petty. But it's really a spectacular facility, and I think it will be a difference maker in the years to come for ETHS athletics. So again, thank you all for being here tonight. Congratulations again, and go Kids!